Welcome to Turnpike Sports. I'm Dave Weishuttle, and as always, I'm joined by my producer and co-host, Doug Weishuttle. Doug, I know you're constantly looking at the gaming news of the day. Your head is constantly in a computer, and I just want to verify something. I was looking at some of the latest news, and did I see this right? Is there a lottery game based on the old arcade game Dig Dug?
The Minnesota Lottery, yes.
Now, Dig Dug, from when we were playing it in the 1980s, right? That Dig Dug.
Yeah, the guy in the spacesuit or whatever he was, digging through the ground.
He was a miner, wasn't he?
It was something. He was wearing a weird suit, like a pressure suit or something.
I remember the game. I remember Dig Dug. I remember the guy cutting through the earth and things like that. I just can't remember the ultimate point of the game. What were we trying to do with Dig Dug?
Quite honestly, that entire point of that game was lost on me. I never really figured out the point of the game.
I can't remember. I remember playing it. I remember
I know
going through the earth and the guy digging through the earth, but I just can't remember what the object of the game was. I can't remember why I was digging through the earth, looking for what or doing what. I can't remember. I remember playing it, but I just don't remember the point of the game.
Well, remember, there was a whole slew of games that followed along with Pac-Man, where you were going through the channels that Pac-Man had set up, like the hallways or whatever they call them, the tunnels. This was one where you actually went through your tunnels and made your own tunnels.
Yeah, I know that.
Other than that, I do not know what the point of that game was. I know there were underground dragons that were chasing them.
I can't remember the dragons.
There were a whole bunch of different other types of creetures. You can actually uncover minerals that gave you extra life, strength, all that stuff. I don't remember
that at all. But the whole point of this conversation was now there's a lottery game.
A Minnesota Lottery instant game based on Dig Dug.
Okay. All right.
It just happened. It's very recent.
Where's this, Minnesota, you said?
Minnesota Lottery.
Okay. All right.
It's the first time the brand of Dig Dug has been used for any type of game.
Yeah. I never thought in my entire life I'd ever be talking about Dig Dug again, especially on this show. But no, there's Dig Dug is back from the grave.
Well, you got to remember, even like Michigan Lottery has a license to use Frogger.
A Frogger, I understand. Frogger, I've actually seen
going across the road.
I've seen that.
There was a point to that one.
Yeah, but I've seen that in casinos, though.
Yeah,
I've seen that in.
There's a skill-based game.
I think it was Bally's Casino in Atlantic City. They had Frogger that you can actually win money on.
They also have Space Invaders.
They have Space Invaders that you can win money on. But
this is the first time
Dig Dug,
the brand of Dig Dug has been used for an instant lottery game.
Right.
So I'm expecting a lot more to come out. More than just Dig Dug. There's like Phoenix. There's all Galaga. I'm waiting for a lot of the old '80s games to come out. Defender, I'm waiting for.
Well, you mentioned Frogger. I mean, a couple Christmases back, I guess. I don't know if this was a joke gift or what was it, but someone gave me an Atari 2600, but it was the new version where the games are already in it. You didn't need cassettes or something like that.
They were inside the game itself. Yeah.
Yeah, and Frogger was there, and I was playing Frogger. I still play Frogger, but it doesn't have Dig Dug.
But again, Frogger had a point. I don't know about Dig Dug.
Well, we got a point this week because we have the object of bringing you a great show. When we do the Beatin The House segment, we're going to have our Week 15 NFL picks. I can't believe it's Week 15 already. We're going to have a book report. And for my interview this week, I'm talking with Jeremy Balan from USBets.com, Sports Handle, and Better Collective. He's going to give us some of the news stories of the week that's hitting all the newspapers and all the streaming media for whatever, gaming reports. I mean, I've even seen some of these reports in the standard everyday evening news. So, Jeremy Balan's going to talk to us about some of the big gaming stories of the week. Today's trip down the Turnpike is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to Drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using our promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with Drizzly.com.
Exit 1.
We've got a brand new sports betting app on the market.
Oh, boy, a new sports betting app.
Yes.
Wow. Another one, huh?
This one is called Chalkboard.
Look, I only have so much room on my phone that all these apps are coming out.
Funny you should say that about having room on your phone because
did I just stumble in something
this is the goal of the app.
Okay, all right.
And I'm going to read you the press release language, and you tell me what this press release language says.
By the way, I apparently hit on something that I inadvertently hit on. So, okay, tell me what you're talking about.
According to the press release,
all right.
Chalkboard's unique and innovative social platform provides seamless real-time bet tracking, score updates, and heightened social interaction between sports fans, friends, and families for an entirely new sports betting experience.
Okay.
Tell me what that meant. And as a matter of fact, it's exactly what you said before.
Is it like a chat board? Does anyone use the word chat board anymore? But is it something like that?
It's fancy language for what's technically termed an aggregator app. Aggregator app. It takes all these different data streams and brings it all together into one place.
Oh, okay. So instead of using all these different kind of apps and things like that, I use Chalkboard, and it kind of ties it all together.
If you have multiple sportsbook accounts, and you don't want to actually go to the individual sportsbooks on your phone, you go to this app.
Okay, and then what?
Basically what you do, this app takes all your data streams, all your chat groups, all your bulletin boards, and brings it into one place.
Oh, okay.
You can link your sports book. You can link your chats into this. Here, all the features. I will read these off to you.
Okay.
Features include message boards, book sync. You link your sports books and track your bets through this app.
Oh, that's good.
Messaging, chats with other people, live scores and bet tracking, and also consensus lines and prop bets all in one spot.
That's pretty good.
This is basically going to streamline your sports betting experience. That is their goal.
You see, when I first heard you talk about it, I was thinking, oh, boy, another app coming. I only have so much room on my phone, but this is actually helping me out. This is actually
you will be able
allowing me to have more room on my phone, right?
Basically, once you actually download this app. I mean, it's one of those things where it's a simplification of every app out there that you use to do your entire sports betting and sports experience.
Okay.
It brings it all together into one place, and you can actually probably free up a lot of space on your phone.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're able to link unlimited number of books, you would actually probably place your bets on your laptop if you have it handy. If you're not handy, you have your apps. But if you do it on your laptop and your sports book is linked into this app, you can call up your bets and track them through the app. You can actually share them with everybody. You can interact with other people while watching the games.
I like the fact you can track your bets because I place a bet and then I use Action. The Action Network, they have a way you can track your bets. So wherever I put if you look at my phone, I have a ton of sports betting apps on it. So wherever I place my bet, I go to Action and I write it down, and so I can just follow along with it because, to keep flipping around to different sports books. And to be honest, sometimes if I don't write it down or anything like that, I don't know where I place the bet. I don't know if I place it in Caesars or FanDuel or PointsBet or whatever, but, I always have to write this down in a notebook. So tracking bets is a great thing.
I like the fact that not only can you do that, track your bets, and also link your books to it, but it's also going to give you live stats.
See, that's great, too.
That's something right there. I mean, I know the score does that, too.
Especially for in-play betting.
But when you mix it in with linking your other books, as well as your chats, your bulletin boards.
I got to be honest with you, I don't chat much.
Well, the bulletin boards you actually
chats.
could, because there you can have people giving you advice on betting tips. They're going to have those kinds of chat boards up there, message boards,
all right,
where they're going to give you tips. And also a lot of the investors are going to be on there as well.
Okay.
Speaking of investors, one of them is, remember the NBA player Baron Davis?
Yes.
And also now Paul George.
Oh, wow, okay.
Both of them have invested in this app.
I got to tell you, like I said, it's a great idea because if you look at my phone, first off, I have a ton of sports betting apps, being in New Jersey, I have a bunch of online poker apps. I have online casino apps. I mean, if someone looked at my phone, they'd think I'm a degenerate or something like that. But I'm glad.
I don't think they need to look at your phone.
Yeah,
for
I
that.
know. The one more point, I'm a degenerate. But seriously, that's a lot of space on my phone. You know.
Well, this is a space saver as well as an efficiency increase in efficiency here. So I think this is actually a really great idea.
And not only do I have the actual gambling apps on my phone, I have the tracking apps on my, I have the Action Network. I have I have Score Mobile. That helps me track my bets. So,
it also does the live stats too.
It does the live stats too. Yeah, no. So, no, anything that could kind of streamline everything, kind of clean up my phone a little bit. This is a great thing.
Exit 2.
Speaking of pro athletes, I just ended that exit with mentioning Baron Davis and Paul George.
Sure.
We've got 2 new athletes entering into the eSports arena.
Boy, there's so many athletes and so many pro sport owners, jumping into the eSports.
Well, we're going to talk about 2 athletes right now. Manny Pacquiao.
Oh, okay.
The former boxer turned politician in the Philippines, has, during a live-streamed press conference in front of thousands of viewers, unveiled a brand-new gaming and esports brand called Team Pacquiao GG.
What does the GG stand for?
It could stand for anything. Okay. I know in the esports world, GG is shorthand for good game.
Oh, okay.
But in terms of a company name, it could be that, or it could be Global Gaming. Who knows?
There you go. What's the actual name of the team?
Team Pacquiao GG, or TPGG. And it's going to focus on the region of Asia, because the Philippines, he's there. This is done in joint venture with a UK-based group called Veloce Group. They run Veloce eSports. They do Veloce Racing, which is an extreme e-simulation racing team.
Extreme E, huh?
Extreme E. E means electric.
Okay, but what's extreme about it?
I think they just want to be extreme.
Just extreme. Okay,
it's a cool name for them, I guess. But
extreme racing.
I've actually seen the e-racing simulators. They actually sound different than the regular the racing simulators because they're electric cars.
Okay.
They're charged electric. They're not. They're like one of those things you plug into the wall and drive around on the regular streets. They're electric. That's the racing car.
Okay.
They're not gas powered.
All right. Okay.
And also they run Quadrant, which is an esports joint venture with McLaren F1 driver Lando Norris.
Okay.
So big group working with Manny Pacquiao. They're going to be focusing on the Philippines and the Asian region of the world to launch this Team Pacquiao. It's the first time the UK group has ventured outside their country. This is an international deal, their first one for the organization.
Oh, well, and they got a big name attached to it now, too. Manny Pacquiao's huge.
And considering I think he's running for governor or something in the Philippines, it's going to be kind of interesting to see a governor playing esports all the time.
Well, that's great.
The other athlete we're going to talk about here is former Titans and Saints defensive back Kenny Vicara. Now, I think he also was at the Giants, too, if I remember. That name sounds very familiar.
Yeah, very familiar.
But he has announced his retirement so he can start up his own esports organization.
Great.
He hung up his cleats. He's going to be starting an organization called G1, also known as Gamers First. So G1 is shorthand for the name of the company.
Okay.
He's forming it with 2 professional gamers, and what they are going to be doing is they're going to be focusing on Halo, Destiny, and a few other games, but they're going to be focused mostly on Halo because that's what he loves to play. Vicara is a Halo player. That's that first-person shoot-'em-up kind of game with the spaceman doing all the shooting.
Sure. That sounds like a fun retirement. I'm getting into the esports thing. I want to be playing esports all day. What a great retirement.
Well, according to the reports, when he was announcing this, when he wasn't playing football, he was playing Halo.
Hey, you know what?
And Halo's been around for however long. It's actually one of the better ones out there.
Sure. I've seen Halo.
I mean, it's not as popular in terms of esports as League of Legends or Dota or some of the other ones, or even that PUBG kind of stuff. but not the battle the battle royal games. People seem to love those the most. But Halo has actually been a pretty good team sport starting to as well, because you're starting to see that happen a lot more too. But I just wanted to continue along with the theme of professional athletes. So we have 2 new eSports organizations, Team Pacquiao GG and G1.
From Kenny Vicara.
Exit 3.
In just a matter of months, the National Football League has gone from being one of the least crypto-curious organizations out there to basically just going gangbusters into it all of a sudden.
Okay.
They just did a deal recently with the company Dapper Labs that started the NBA Top Shot. So they have they are going to be launching a series of NFTs with Dapper Labs that kind of mimic what the Top Shot is. They're going to be historic moments or highlight moments for the NFL.
Boy, NFTs are huge now. I mean, huge. They're everywhere. Everyone has NFTs. I told you on Thanksgiving I saw the commercial for the NFT tickets. I think Joe Buck was mentioning
that is going to be what I just was going to be
talking about. Oh, you're going to jump in that? Yeah, no, I saw the...
they collaborate with Ticketmaster.
Oh, okay. That's okay. I didn't know that. All right.
To create the team-specific NFT collectibles.
Yeah,
and some of them are going to be tied in with game tickets.
Yeah, no, that's what Joe Buck was saying during the Detroit game on Thanksgiving. I saw the promo for it, and I was like, oh, my God, it's an NFT and it's a ticket.
And quite honestly, he blew right through that read. And, it was one of those things where it's like if you weren't really paying attention.
Hey, I paid attention.
I wasn't paying attention. I caught the end of it.
I saw it. So apparently it was very effective. It got my attention.
Well, maybe I'm just one of the ones that, was letting the tryptophan hit me a little too hard for watching those games. But we have those 2 deals by the NFL. Now we have the NFL Players Association, the union, doing a deal with DraftKings for NFTs. And not only regular NFTs, these are gamified NFTs.
What does that mean?
Well, basically, the NFLPA granted DraftKings an NIL license, players' name, image, and likeness license, to create NFTs for their NFT marketplace at the start of next season, 2022. What DraftKings intends to do with these NFTs, not only are they going to sell the collectibles, as collectibles, these NFTs, they're going to create a fantasy game where the NFTs are the game pieces.
Wow. Okay.
You buy the token and you use that to play in the game.
Now, if you buy the token, you're automatically enrolled in the game, right? You're automatically registered for the game. If you want to play. Okay. I got to get an NFT. Boy, I'm seeing them everywhere. I don't own any NFTs right now.
I don't know.
These might be the kind I'd like,
Well, again, if the NFT has extra stuff to it, I'm interested. But if it's just a graphic with somebody's branding on it, I'm not that interested in buying one of those. Maybe it's just because I'm not a collectible type of guy. I mean, I used to do comics, even football and baseball cards, but I guess these are the football and baseball cards of the next generation.
I'd certainly be interested in some of the big NFL moments or something like that. I'm waiting for college football. You just talked about name, image, and likeness deals. And whenever you talk about NIL deals, you're talking about NCAA, and I wonder NFTs are going to come along with, name, image, and likeness of the big college football plays of history, really.
So basically, you can own the one where that California Bear player hit the trombone player in the end zone.
Pretty much it. Much it.
That one I would be interested in.
The one NFL NFT I wouldn't mind owning is it was on my 9th birthday. And, I'm a big Eagles fan. I was at my grandparents' house, and my grandfather is a big Giants fan. November 19th, 1978. And all Joe Pisarcik had to do was kneel on the ball, and he didn't. He tried to hand it off to Larry Zonka, and what happened? He fumbled, and Herm Edwards went in for a touchdown. So that's the one I want. It happened on my 9th birthday.
Well, keep an eye out, because that might be part of the Dapper Labs deal.
That seems like it would be.
That might be part of the Dapper Labs deal coming down the road. So
I'm going to keep an eye out for that.
But NFTs are now everywhere with the NFL. Not only the league, but the Players Union. That wasn't the Alumni Association. That was the actual union doing this. So NFTs are becoming part of the NFL.
Exit 4.
Last but not least, we're going from football to baseball.
Baseball.
Remember during the pandemic, with the shutdown of sports during the pandemic here, where minor league baseball teams were left to their own devices, a lot of them folded.
They were really hurt by the pandemic.
And Major League Baseball itself did not really do them any favors.
Yeah.
They just let them twist in the wind, and a lot of them folded. A lot of them didn't know what to do. I mean, it was a really sad scene.
Our local team was was it Trenton Thunder?
Trenton Thunder.
And they were the Double-A team of the Yankees. So, and they are no longer the Double-A team of the Yankees.
No, but they are one of the few that survived.
Yeah, let me tell you, minor league baseball is so much fun. First, you see baseball in places where you wouldn't see professional baseball. Secondly, I think they have some of the best promotions out there.
They can get away with a lot more.
They really bring the fans into the sport, and it's such a great night out. Minor league baseball.
Well, remember we used to do a segment on the show, minor league baseball promotions, all the crazy ones.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
I got to dust that off. Maybe we can when
great minor league baseball promotions
when they start up
do
again.
Have the
maybe
best
we
promotions.
can do. I remember seeing the teams have their own beers, have their own doing mugs, doing all these weird things, doing movie nights.
Sure. I mean, they have the great just surrounding the games. We were talking about the Trenton Thunder. They actually have. I forgot the dog's name.
Thunder.
It was Thunder? Okay, it was Thunder. They don't have a bat boy running out and getting the bat. They have Thunder, the dog. The dog was trained to run out, get the bat, and bring it back to the dugout.
Well, they actually had two dogs because Thunder was old, and they brought Thunder's offspring in.
Okay,
he was doing.
Right.
I don't know what they called that one, but
okay, I remember Thunder.
Yeah. ESPN. One of the ESPN magazine shows did a story on it.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah, they included all that because it was kind of fun to see.
But it's
actually
great.
Waterfront Park on ESPN.
It's jarring if you're not aware of it and it's your first time at a Trenton Thunder game. It's like, oh my God, there's a dog on the field. Oh my God, he's grabbing a bat. But no, that's part of it. He grabs the bat and brings it back to the dugout.
I've always wanted to see what would happen if he went after a player.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
But anyway.
Well, it would never happen.
Getting back to what we're talking about here, Endeavor, the entertainment agency, entertainment company, it's morphed into so many different entities. I'm just going to call it Endeavor.
Okay.
Endeavor has announced the creation of Diamond Baseball Holdings, and it's specifically designed to support, promote, and enhance minor league baseball.
Great. Good.
They have actually gone ahead and signed agreements to acquire 9 Major League Baseball Professional Development League clubs.
Great.
The initial clubs are, and these are actually pretty cool clubs, Iowa Cubs,
All
AAA of Chicago, Memphis Redbirds, the AAA affiliate of the St. Louis Cardinals, Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders, AAA affiliate of the Yankees.
Okay.
Hudson Valley Renegades, High A affiliate of the New York Yankees, and the San Jose Giants, the Single A affiliate of the San Francisco Giants. They have all those teams under their control. They've also got deals with 4 other teams for their minor league clubs: the Gwinnett Stripers, AAA affiliate of the Atlanta Braves, Mississippi Braves, AA affiliate of the Braves, Rome Braves, High A affiliate of the Braves, and the Augusta Green Jackets. That's a Single A affiliate of the Braves. Now, what they're doing here, like we had just talked about, when the pandemic hit and everything was locked down, minor league baseball shut down.
Yeah.
And the organization that was known as MILB is gone. So what's happened here is, and I think this is actually a brilliant move, Endeavor will be able to maintain control as well as help grow these teams and other ones that they're going to acquire as well because of what they have in their coffers themselves. The Diamond Baseball will be able to use Endeavor's ticket sales, partnership, naming rights, food and beverage, merchandising, content strategies, NFTs, other collectibles, and media rights that Endeavor manages. And they're going to be able to maintain the health of these clubs through basically anything if this thing works the way they want it to work.
Wow.
They're going to be getting other minor league teams, but I think an organization like this is desperately needed because like what happened, they were thrown to the curb.
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, look, it's such a great part of American sports, the minor league baseball organizations. I think it's great, and I think it's great what Endeavor's doing.
There was actually a time for a while I did not watch Major League Baseball, but I watched minor league. And I always enjoyed minor league baseball more so than Major League, especially if I went to a live game.
It's a fun night out. And plus you get to see what we were talking about the Trenton Thunder. I mean, before they were a Yankees organization, first they started as a Detroit Tiger organization. Yes. Then they went to the Red Sox organization. They were a minor league team for Red Sox.
Which I actually saw Nomar Garciaparra hit a home run into the Delaware River.
That's what I'm saying. You got to see Nomar before he went to the Red Sox. So that's, can you imagine if NFTs were around and you got an NFT of this young up-and-coming shortstop called Nomar, and he became what he became? So that would make the NFT worth a lot of money, right?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
That would be incredible. So, see that invest in NFTs on minor league baseball players,
or any minor league system player.
Yeah, any development club.
Let me tell you something. I think Endeavor's got one other aspect here that really wasn't talked about in the press release too. Endeavor just recently bought the sports betting platform OpenBet.
Interesting.
I'm wondering if there's their way they're thinking maybe tie in
who knows
the minor league system into OpenBet, and people would have to get the data and the streaming and everything through their OpenBet platform.
I don't know if there's any jurisdiction that allows minor league baseball betting. Is there? I don't think
That's
so.
That's a good question.
I don't know. I don't think so. You can't do it in Jersey.
But I think with the power behind Endeavor, they might be able to push that kind of through into some of the states. So we'll see what happens. But, Endeavor is helping to preserve minor league baseball.
And today's trip down the Turnpike was brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using our promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
And as always, you can get in touch with Turnpike Sports by calling or texting us at 609-512-5910. That's 609-512-5910. At Turnpike Sports is the show's handle on Facebook and Twitter. At Turnpike Sports Radio is our handle on Instagram. And as always, our email address is info@turnpikesportsradio.com. And don't forget, you can listen to the show via Spotify, Amazon Music, iTunes, radio.com mobile app, as well as Stitcher and YouTube. You can also watch us on your smart TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV. Head on over to turnpikesports.net. You'll be able to watch our video channel there.
Well, we got a big show coming up. We got a Beatin The House segment. We got our Week 15 NFL picks coming up. We got a book report. And right after this, I'm talking with Jeremy Balan from USBets.com, Sports Handle, and Better Collective. We're going to talk about some of the big gaming stories of the present day. So stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports.
Auto Accident Help Desk is a marketing agency connecting callers with attorneys. Providers pay a fee for advertising services.
I love getting my kids ready and driving them to school.
But a careless driver can change your life in an instant, and insurance companies want to settle on the cheap. Auto Accident Help Desk connects victims with powerful lawyers. They fight for you.
I called Auto Accident Help Desk and got help for my pain and suffering.
Don't let an insurance company take advantage of you. Our attorneys fight and beat big insurance every day.
Call 800-297-9766. 800-297-9766.
If you've been injured in an automobile accident in the last 6 months, you owe it to yourself to make this free call with no obligation. We're available 24/7 to help you get the money you deserve for your pain and suffering. Auto Accident Help Desk helps accident victims like you every day.
Call 800-297-9766. 800-297-9766. 800-297-9766.
Is your bathroom looking old and worn out? Want to update it, but you don't know where to start? Then let BCI Bath & Shower show you how to turn that old bath into an aisle of beauty and functionality. Our residential bathroom solutions provide the best value on the market, and our customer service is second to none. Our cost-effective BCI Bath & Shower family of products has what you need.
Remodeling our bathroom was a big decision for us.
They didn't make a mess out of our house at all. And at the end of the day, we had a beautiful new bathroom. And it was a great experience the whole way through.
We have the best monthly payment programs in the industry, with payments as low as $68 per month or no interest, no payments for 18 months. That's right. Get the bathroom of your dreams now and pay for it in 2021. Call 1-800-308-8291 for a free no-obligation price quote. That's 1-800-308-8291. When you want quality bathroom products at a great price, it's got to be BCI Bath and Shower. That's 1-800-308-8291.
Welcome back to Turnpike Sports. I am Dave Weisstattle. Lots of things are happening in the gambling world. Sportsbooks are making huge deals, and interesting things are happening in horse racing. And to fill us in on some of the big stories in the gambling world, making his first appearance on the show, we have Jeremy Balan from USBets.com and Sports Handle. Jeremy, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys. I'm glad to be here.
One of the great things about doing this show and knowing Adam Small from Better Collective is that I get to interview the writers from the Better Collective family. Now, this is your first time on the show, like I said, because you just began writing for USBets.com and Sports Handle. Tell the audience about yourself and what you were doing before you became a Better Collective writer.
So I was working at Twin Spires and Churchill Downs Incorporated, doing editing, marketing content, and there's some of their sportsbook and racebook stuff over there. But prior to that, I was a journalist. I was a turf writer for 4 years at Blood Horse prior to my time at Twin Spires, and I was a sports writer at newspapers and websites for 10 years before that. So definitely jumping into a new sphere, but I've been in the gambling area for a little while since I started covering horse racing, and through the government side for a little while too. So definitely touching on a lot of that stuff my first couple weeks here, and looking forward to really getting entrenched in this beat.
Well, no sooner did you start your new job that you got to write about one of the more controversial horse races and decisions in the Breeders' Cup history, in my opinion anyway. What happened was, if you placed a bet on the winning horse, you basically lost. So set the stage for us. What happened with the horse named Modern Games?
So there was, it's quite the complicated. I mean, my first story for US Bets was, I think, about 2,500 words on this topic, and like to start off with a bang, but. Multi-race wagers are a big part of the wagering programs on big race cards. Win bets are still the big pools and trifectas and exactas, but there's a certain clientele that plays these multi-race wagers. I'm one of them, which are pick 6, pick 5, pick 4, pick 3s, daily doubles. And going into the last race on Breeders' Cup Friday, there was relatively chalky results, if I remember correctly. I don't think there was too much of a huge payouts scheduled going into the last race, which was the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. But then everything sort of fell apart. There was 2 Godolphin horses on the 2 inside stalls trained by Charlie Appleby. The name escapes me on the 2 horse. It's a Arabic name, number 2. But the one horse, the inside horse, was a horse named Modern Games. And when the 2, I think it was Albahir or something like that, flipped in the gate, completely did a 180 and got caught under the gate, which is a very dangerous situation. Yeah. An assistant starter for the one horse, his stablemate, Modern Games, let the horse out of the gate. So it was pretty obvious that the first horse who flipped would be scratched. And that's sort of when you play multi-race wagers, it's sort of a scenario that you're used to, right? Horses have a tendency to act up on occasion, and you just sort of deal with it. The problem was Modern Games was unscathed, but what developed after that ultimately led to him being scratched because of some miscommunication and some other issues in the process. So at the end of it, the stewards in California and the veterinary crew, actually the veterinary crew probably didn't really have much of a say in it after they recommended to scratch the horse incorrectly. So the stewards decide to let the horse run for purse money only. So what that means is that everybody who had a win wager on a straight win wager on the horse got their money refunded, right? Not the worst thing in the world. But the problem is that in these multi-race wagers, those who used Modern Games got the post-time favorite. And with Modern Games out of those pools, the post-time favorite was the 3-horse. I can't think of his name off the top of my head now either. Regardless, doesn't matter. So what happens is Modern Games won the race. And all of these people who had wagered on Modern Games in these multi-race pools got to watch the horse that they selected win the race. Now, the problem is that they didn't get paid because of the rules on multi-race wagers. They got the post-time favorite who did not finish second, which was ultimately paying because Modern Games was. Stop me if I'm being a little getting a little out of control here.
I am fascinated by this because when I was reading your article, I was like, oh my God, is this really happened? This is unbelievable. But let me ask you about the situation which started all this. The horse falling over. I mean, as far as safety precautions for the jockeys and the horses, no one was hurt, right? I didn't see anyone was hurt or anything like that. So,
the assistant starter who was in the gate actually was injured. He was taken off in an ambulance. But after the fact, we found out that he was, obviously bumps and bruises, but relatively okay. Frankie Dettori jumped out of the jockey jumped out of the gate and was actually okay.
So as far as safety procedures, I mean, the proper safety procedures were followed by the staff and the vets at the track. They got that part right?
Absolutely. Okay. Well, yes, for the horse who flipped in the gate.
Okay.
The safety procedures ultimately, however, led to the erroneous scratch of Modern Games because there were assumptions made.
Well, let me ask you. I mean, as far as the horse Modern Games, who was scratched, they decided to scratch the horse. What was the reason behind the decision to scratch the horse? Why he was released from the gate, and what was the reason they decided to not allow the Modern Games to? Why did they scratch Modern Games?
So what led to the reason for the assistant starter to open the gate in the front is that when horses get caught under the gate, like Al-Bahar, that's the name of the horse, did, the horses on each side are in peril, right? Because their horse can be kicking, can be doing all kinds of things under the gate when they flip. So you have to either back those horses out of the gate quickly or let them go out of the front. The problem is that the perception when a horse goes out the front is that they broke through the gate. Now, breaking through the gate can cause problems because when a horse forces their way through, either with their head or their chest or however they get out, it not only causes stress on them, but it can cause these minor or even somewhat major injuries, and that often leads to them being scratched. So what happened is there were a couple of vets behind the gate, and the assumption was that the horse broke through the gate.
Obviously, there was a mistake made to initially scratch the horse. My question is, was the process of a vet coming to that decision flawed, or did the vet not follow the proper procedures? I mean, every sport I watch on TV, a ref will check the video replay of what happened to see what exactly occurred. I mean, does horse racing have that type of procedure, or is the vet on their own to determine what happened?
The vet in a perfect world should be examining the horse. Now, clearly that didn't happen in this case in that moment before the scratch. Because if the vet would have examined the horse, and there were two vets behind the gate, and they eventually changed the procedures for the next day, that one vet would be making the decision rather than having two, which muddled the process there. So if he would have examined the horse, he would have found out that Modern Games was just fine. The problem is that the vet, we assume, we don't know exactly how this whole process went. We assume, because of what happened, that the vet felt that the horse broke through the gate and scratched the horse, because that is often what leads to a scratch. What happened afterwards, however, is that the vet found out that the horse was okay. Now the horse is scratched and out of the pools. So what do we do? And the what do we do that was settled on is to let the horse run for purse money only, which puts all of these wagers into this awful gray area position where you get the post-time favorite, who is a horse named Dakota Gold. Mm-hmm. And now if Modern Games wins, because he's not running for purse money, or because he is running for purse money only, whoever finishes second is then the winner of that race pari-mutually. So a horse named Tiz the Bomb ran second. So all the win wagers and all of the multi-race wagers were paid out to Tiz the Bomb. But if you had wagered on the actual winner of the race in those multi-race wagers, you actually got Dakota Gold, who was the post-time favorite, who finished fifth. That pays nothing. So this is not a unique situation to multi-race wagers. People are used to horses getting scratched and getting stuck with a horse they may or may not have used. The difference here is that the people who had the winning horse on their wagers actually had to experience the visceral reaction of watching their horse win and not getting paid.
I'm trying to think if I was at the track and I made a bet on this horse that won, I mean, how did they explain it to bettors who were actually at the track? I mean, you wrote an incredible article about it explaining it, but if I was at the track and it just happened, how do they explain that to bettors who are holding that ticket at the track in real time?
Not very well.
Yeah, apparently.
I mean, I think people who follow racing regularly and wager on racing regularly sort of understand the circumstances of these wagers. But I mean, it was a chorus of boos. I mean, it was raining boos after Modern Games won the race. So it's obvious to me that people felt that it was unfair. I would be hard to, I mean, the CHRB argued that it was a fair process. I don't know how you come to that conclusion based on literally paying people who didn't win the race. So there's a select group of people who had Tiz the Bomb on their tickets that got paid, but Modern Games was singled and selected in those multi-race wagers on a lot of tickets, ranging from $100 and change in the pick four to $3,300, I believe it was, on pick six tickets. So I think I wrote there was somewhere between upwards of 7 million in those multi-race pools that was essentially redistributed from the actual winner of the race to the horse who finished second.
I talked to a lot of people involved in horse racing, and many have expressed concerns that, like in situations just what occurred in the Breeders' Cup, it's the bettors that pay for the biggest price for a mistake at the track. I mean, in this particular situation, is the rule that was enforced flawed, or was it interpreted in a way that it didn't intend for this rule to be interpreted? The one thing I thought of is like, wow, this is like the horse racing equivalent of the tuck rule. You can see it. Was it a fumble? But it was a fumble. But look at your eyes. It was a fumble. I mean, it was that kind of thinking on my part. I mean, what is this a rule flawed?
It's a bit of a combo platter.
Yep.
You have the original human error behind the gate from the vets, and then you get into the next layer of, okay, how do we fix this? And how do we make it the least worst decision that we can? The problem is that in these situations where something doesn't go exactly right, the bettor is almost always the one who bears the brunt. So I wrote a few examples about this. When there's a surface switch, when there's rain and races get taken off the turf and run on the main track, pools get diluted, and the bettors ultimately see their payouts decrease. The horses who run in the race, the owners who collect the purses, still get all of the money based on who runs first through fifth. The track gets their cut of the pools just the same. For another example is drug positives after the fact. We can find out 2 or 3 months after that a horse was may or may not have been enhanced or had an overage in an illegal drug, and the purses are redistributed based on who didn't violate the rules, right? So if a horse wins a race and is found to have a drug test, they are disqualified, and the purses are redistributed based upon that. But the people who wagered on other horses in that race get nothing back. Right. And the track still gets their takeout of the pool because that was 2 or 3 months ago. Or another example is it's at Saratoga a few years ago. They ran a race at the wrong distance. So it wasn't a huge difference in the distance, but it means something. Right. Again,
absolutely.
Purses were distributed to all of the horses' connections. Track was able to take the takeout from all of the pools. And those who wagered on the race, who were operating on a false set of circumstances, got nothing, no sort of recourse, no way to get money back on a wagering event that they wagered on that was not as it seemed.
Do you think this incident will force the industry to take a look at how to predict bettors with regard to scratches, especially in multi-race pools? I mean, this mistake was done in a pretty big race. It was a pretty important race. And, you wrote an article about it. We're talking on the radio about it. Do you think the fact that it would happen in such a big race will kind of spur on some changes in the industry?
You hope that that's the silver lining, right? Because it was the story of, at least from the gambling side of things, it was the story of the weekend. But there's just been so many examples of sort of these embarrassing things that happen in racing that just never really result in much. You would, and the thing is that this wasn't necessarily Breeders' Cup's fault. This was not necessarily Del Mar's fault. This is, a human failing combined with, issues within the rules, and within a lot of people think in the tote, which is just not a modern game, not a modern game system, right? The tote is a very old system, so there are ways in multi-race wagers for you to set alternates. The problem is that you can't do them online on ADW sites. You can only do them at brick and mortar, either at the racetrack or at an off-track betting location. So there are sort of these safeguards, but it's just for only a certain segment of the public. On these big days, there's people wagering from around the world and around North America, putting money into these pools who have no access to that alternate provision, which would be great. But so if the question is, what can we do? I think the first thing is allow alternates to be set in these multi-race wagers for everybody. Mm-hmm. I think that's the easiest thing to do, and I think people who will tell you that they can't do it will say it's not so easy within the tote system. And then the other thing is that, maybe that horse shouldn't have run, and that sucks for Godolphin. It sucks for the jockey. It sucks for the trainer. But who are we trying to protect here? Who is the most important person in this equation? More than $7 million was put from one set of players to another set of players. I would argue that maybe people should start thinking about the gambler more than the owner on occasion.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. I mean, you cover horse racing a lot over the years. Have you seen any momentum in the industry to change the rules to protect bettors? I mean, here in New Jersey, everyone who has come on this show about horse racing has said how great fixed odds wagering is for the state and the bettors. I mean, certainly that have little or no effect on the situation we're talking about now, but it certainly shows a push to help bettors. I mean, people are talking about how does this affect bettors. Are you seeing more of this in the industry, the realization that more needs to be done for the bettors?
I'm not sure there's a realization, but people have been complaining about this for as long as I've been involved. Mm-hmm. Everybody acknowledges that there's issues. It's just a matter of whether they're going to be changed. And to be fair, if you were expecting some sort of handle hit the next day on Breeders' Cup for all these frustrated gamblers who felt like they got money taken away from them, handle was just fine. I think it was an increase for Saturday. Mm-hmm. So fixed odds wagering, which I covered a little bit later in the week last week. Yep. In Colorado, there's going to be concerns there. It's not. It's not as easy as people think, or people might think. I think there's people view it as a revenue stream and as a way to cross over into the sportsbook side and maybe acquire new customers and boost things on the racing side. Mm-hmm. But there are issues that need to be pursued or considered going forward with that.
Well, let's talk about the fixed odds wagering.
Sure.
I mean, like you said, you wrote about it in Colorado. I mean, right now, what is going on in Colorado with fixed odds betting on horse racing, and what seems to be the future of that in the state?
I think it's inevitable. It's just a matter of the details, which need to be ironed out with the horsemen and with the tracks, and to figure out a way to make it work. The horsemen, this is a sort of a deeper dive into sort of the distrust that is there between the horsemen, the tracks, and the gambling operators, right? This dates back to the earlier ages of the internet when these ADW agreements were made, when online wagering was just a fraction of overall handle, right? Mm-hmm. People were just getting introduced to the internet and just getting introduced to wagering online. And now the scenario that those deals have left is, if you make a ADW wager, the track and the horseman, for purses and all the things that handle funds in the racetrack sphere, if you make a wager through an ADW, those industry entities get a significantly less portion of the wagering dollar than they would if it was a wager made on track or in a off-track betting location. So they made those deals with all of these online companies, and it's not been a good scenario for them for the last 20, 15 years. I think maybe even longer than that. So I think there's cold feet when you have that context of all these bad deals that were made long ago And I think the horseman side and the track side are worried that they might be taken advantage of again with this new set of wagering. And there's also, concerns about cannibalization, how much it'll take from the parimutuel side of things, which feeds purses and things like that. So, there's Jim Mulvihill, who's the Horsemen's representative in Colorado, basically said he doesn't trust anybody during the last of the calls that was conducted last week. So I get it, but I feel like the Horsemen are going to fight as much as they can, but whether they get a beneficial deal remains to be seen.
Well, in your article on usbets.com on the subject of fixed odds wagering, you wrote about Bill Pasquarel's opinion on the matter. Now, Bill's a lobbyist and has been on our show several times, and he's calling for what he called the New Jersey model with regards to fixed odds wagering for horse racing. What is he referring to when he calls it the New Jersey model, and does that have a possibility of being implemented in Colorado?
I think it does. It essentially is from a regulatory standpoint, it splits the regulatory responsibilities between, the sports and gaming side and the racing board side. And depending on state to state, I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work, but it sort of puts certain parts of regulation, the processing of things and the monitoring of things on the gaming side, the sportsbook side, and it puts the integrity, the things that happen on the racetrack on the racing side. But there's a lot of details in there that present the minutia of the language, right? If it's considered if a fixed odds wager on horse racing is considered a sports bet, it is taxed as a sports bet. Mm-hmm. Now, if it's considered a horse bet, it is taxed very little or not at all. So how they navigate those, I don't think that these operators are going to pay tax on a wager if they don't have to. So I think they're going to figure it out. But those little details matter, right? The little things that seem semantic, but really from a regulatory and legislative standpoint really make a lot of difference.
Well, I want to switch gears and talk about another great article you wrote for Sports Handle. It looks like the Mannings are getting into the gambling business. They just signed a deal with Caesars-Sportsbook. First off, is it just Peyton and Eli, or are there more Mannings involved in this deal?
I believe yes, it's Cooper and it is Archie. So it's the whole Manning older crew, right? Not including Arch yet, who may be able to. He's the number one quarterback recruit, I believe, of 2023. He plays for the high school that all of them went to in New Orleans. And once he gets into college, he can get sort of that NIL name, image, and likeness deal. Maybe can join in on some of the Manning family deals. But yeah, just for them, it's just about building a portfolio. Now they have so many balls in the air. It seems like that it was only a matter of time before this was going to happen.
So initially, what does this mean? Certainly everyone knows Peyton and Eli Manning from the Monday Night Football Manning cast. Mm-hmm. Will we see Caesars Sportsbook be all over the Manning cast from now on, or is that something separate from the Caesars Sportsbook deal?
It certainly seems separate.
Okay.
What they talked about in their news release and some of the details of this is that they want their rewards program users to interact with Mannings fairly regularly. So I'm not sure exactly what that means, but it's definitely, I think there's definitely going to be ads. Peyton Manning has put together some pretty memorable ads over the years. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that in the next few weeks and months. But as far as crossover to the Manning cast, now we're getting into something that I'm working on going forward, is sort of Disney's whole deal with sports betting and how they're going to start incorporating that. But love the Manning cast. So I don't know how much they're going to be able to cross over with all that.
You know, I saw a roast where Peyton Manning was involved in, and someone had the greatest line. Someone said, "Peyton, you're the Tom Brady of TV commercials." So I thought that was a great line. But
I mean, who doesn't remember, chicken parm, you taste so good, and all those great lines that he's had over the years. I mean, they have definitely created their own little industry. I mean, to be honest, when they have the Manning cast on Monday Night Football, I don't even watch the main broadcast anymore. It's a little wonky, right? It's a little inside football, but
that's part of the charm.
It's great. Yeah, I enjoy it. And, they're definitely monetizing that charm, that family deal they have going. So good for them. I mean, it's definitely enjoyable to watch in that respect, but it'll be interesting to see how far that little empire expands with all these tentacles they have going everywhere.
Anytime a deal like that is made, I always see if, is that kind of the blueprint going forward with these sportsbook deals. I mean, I know the NBA said they want to do something like the Manning cast. I mean, do you think that the Caesars deal will be a blueprint for other sportsbooks and other athletes for different sports? Or is it the fact that, the Mannings are such a unique commodity that this will be the only deal of its kind?
Man, I mean, to hire essentially a whole family.
Yeah,
I don't think that I don't know if there are many other marketable families that are in that category. So yeah, it's tough to. Just from seeing sportsbook advertisements and deals, there's going to be no shortage of stars and people who are going to sign on to get paid to endorse products. But it's hard to imagine that type of draw. I mean, they've done a really good job. The Manning family has done a really good job of cultivating that. And I don't think it's any coincidence that this deal came after this sort of popularity of the Manning cast. So I think you're right that there may be a little bit of a lightning in a bottle thing with this specific deal. But I don't think there's going to be any shortage of celebrity endorsements and things like that going forward.
Jeremy, we're running out of time, but can you give out the websites where people can read your articles? And if you have any social media addresses, can you give them out so people can follow what you're up to?
Sure, absolutely. usbets.com is and Sports Handle are the main places I'm going to be writing going forward. CO Bets for Colorado News, which is where that fixed odds wagering article ran last week. And you can find me on Twitter at Jeremy Balan, JeremyBalan.
Jeremy Balan from usbets.com, Sports Handle, and Better Collective. Thanks so much for coming on and keeping us updated on some very interesting news stories from the gambling world. I look forward to reading more of your articles in the future, and please come back on and keep us updated about what's going on in the gambling industry.
Thank you very much.
Stick around. More Turnpike Sports right after this.
During these difficult times, we understand how important it is to stay healthy and safe. With so many of us confined to our homes and not being able to work, we feel the financial burden more than ever. Many folks lost their jobs and businesses. Others were furloughed, and some are working from home at reduced pay. Keeping up with your bills is not easy under these circumstances. If you have credit card debt and cannot keep up with your monthly payments, we at Debt Fix Pros are here to help. Give us a call to see how we can reduce your interest rates and lower your monthly payments. Protect your credit and let us help you find a solution that fits your needs. We, your friends at Debt Fix Pros, are here to help. Let us take care of your credit card debt so you can focus on what is really important. Call for a free phone consultation at 800-919-6011. 800-919-6011. That's 800-919-6011. 800-919-6011. United we stand.
Attention Medicare recipients and anyone turning 65. Medicare has approved new benefits not included with original Medicare and older Medicare Advantage plans. You may not be getting all of the benefits you're entitled to, including in-home aids, telephone appointments with your doctors, home-delivered meals and prescriptions. These benefits may be available and it's a free call to enroll. The new plans may also offer free eyeglasses, free hearing aids, free wellness visits, and gym memberships. Call the Medicare benefits line now. It's easy. Call 800-217-1797. 800-217-1797. Find out if you're eligible for new benefits like meal and prescription delivery, in-home aids, and telemedicine. Some plans may have a $0 monthly premium or zero copays for big out-of-pocket savings. Not all Medicare Advantage plans are alike. The new plans have more benefits for many people. Call 800-217-1797. 800-217-1797. 800-217-1797.
It's a casino. People gotta win sometime.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a giant, colorful check to deposit.
Beatin The House is brought to you by BetMGM Casino. Play your favorite casino games at BetMGM Online Casino. Slots, table games, live dealer games, everything you love about Atlantic City and Vegas, all online at BetMGM. Don't wait. Join in the fun now. Go to BetMGM Casino, create an account using our promo code Turnpike, and become a verified player. New players get $25 free when signing up, plus a first deposit bonus up to $1,000. That's promo code Turnpike at BetMGM.com for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000 plus $25 free. Grab a lion's share of the fun at BetMGM.com. Must be 21 years or older to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And welcome to this week's Beatin The House, where we're going to be talking about the slot machine wins, casino wins, online sports books, lottery, keno, basically whatever jackpot we come across or it's been sent to us through the press releases that we get every week. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of them every time we do this segment. info@turnpikesportsradio.com is our email address. Please keep those press releases coming in. We're going to start off this week at the Golden Nugget in Las Vegas.
In Vegas, huh? We're starting in Vegas.
According to the Golden Nugget, an unidentified guest hit a jackpot worth $1.195 million.
Wow.
While playing IGT's Wheel of Fortune Triple Gold Machine.
See, there's always a theme to it because it's either Wheel of Fortune, Divine Fortune, or Monopoly. Aren't they the big three, really?
They're the big three, really.
Actually, no.
Online, you have Divine Fortune.
What's the one? Is it Dancing Drums?
Dancing Drums.
That one's coming up on the outside with a lot of jackpots.
Well, actually, the Dancing Drums Explosion is the one that's paying out a lot lately. But
okay,
Dancing Drums
I'm just talking about the
brand
Dancing
itself.
Drum
the family,
brand. I can't name all of them.
Well, this Triple Gold machine, the Wheel of Fortune Triple Gold, falls under the category of a mega tower.
So that's the really big one you see on the floors.
It has a 27-inch wheel above it.
Okay.
A Wheel of Fortune wheel. And it's got multiple bonuses, really kind of a unique way of doing it. They have a gold spin bonus. They have the physical wheel bonus, which if you hit the word spin on 3 reels, the wheel above you spins.
I got to tell you, I'm not too crazy about playing on a game that big. I'd rather, sit alone, relax, maybe have a beverage and, on the gaming floor and just play my game. I mean, you're kind of out there in the middle and for everyone to see when you're playing that big of a game.
Well,
I mean, when I say big game, I'm assuming it's the size of the wall, right?
Basically.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's a matter of, everyone who plays this, you're going to be looked at.
Sure.
Even when you lose.
Oh, it's got to make a lot of noise, too, when you win.
It makes a lot of noise no matter what. Because, some of the games, some of the Wheel of Fortune ones have the characters come on screen and talk to you.
Yeah.
They have a Vanna White or Pat Sajak or something. And also you hear the crowd noise, the applause and all that stuff, and the wheel noise. So, if you like being the center of attention, that's the game for you.
Me, I don't know about that. I mean, I like Wheel of Fortune, but, I'd rather be, my own space and, kind of my own time and, no one bothering me.
We're going to go back across the country to the Seminole Classic Casino in Hollywood, Florida, where we have 3 mega jackpots.
3.
Awarded over a span of 3 days.
Okay.
Total jackpots awarded over the 3 days, $633,549. First winner was playing the AGS Diamond Lotto slot machine and won $224,836. The second player won $282,674 playing the Scientific Games Dancing Drums game.
Dancing drums. Okay.
There you go.
See, I didn't know you were going to say that, too. I told you dancing drums are paying off.
And the third player won $126,039, also playing the AGS Diamond Lotto machine.
Perfectly, I've never heard of the Diamond Lotto.
Diamond Lotto is one of the older ones.
Really?
Out there.
Okay.
Yeah. It's actually still a pretty good game.
Is that one of those machines I would know it if I saw it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, and total of $633,549 paid out in 3 days. And all 3 slot machines, which are progressive jackpots, have been reset to the base jackpot of $100,000. Going over into California, the Chumash Casino Resort. A longtime guest known as Robert A. from Oxnard, California, won a $168,000, $187 payday after participating in a dollar side wager while playing Ultimate Texas Hold'em.
Great. Wow.
That side wager qualified him for the multi-progressive jackpot. That jackpot can only be triggered when a royal flush is hit in a game of Ultimate Texas Hold'em, 3-card poker, 4-card poker, and Mississippi Stud.
So he hit it?
He hit.
Wow. Okay.
According to the casino spokesperson, the guest recalled sitting down at the card game around 2 a.m. and being dealt an ace and a queen of diamonds.
Okay.
As the dealer proceeded to deal out the community cards, a jack, king, and 10 of diamonds were revealed, resulting in a royal flush and triggering the multi-progressive jackpot of $168,187. Now, I remember one of the previous episodes we did this segment on, you mentioned, has anyone ever tried to reach somebody when they won and not reached them? That happened to him.
Oh, he tried to call everyone or something like that?
According to Robert, he attempted to share the good news in the early hours of the morning with several people, but no one answered.
Well, what did you say? It was 2 a.m.?
2 a.m.
That's a little late. But
well, you know, if you're calling somebody locally 2 a.m., but 5 a.m. sometimes people are up on the East Coast, you know?
Okay, yeah, if he was calling people on the East Coast.
But he's a local from Oxnard, so I'm assuming they were all in the same time zone.
See,
he was trying to call.
Like I said, we're talking about that the other week. You know, I'm fascinated to see what people do right after they win something huge. You know, especially if you're an online casino and you win like. I think we talked about someone winning about $3 million. I mean, what the hell do you do? You're in the middle of your living room or your middle of your bedroom. Do you? Sure, you jump up and down, and then what? Do you call someone? Do you run out and in the middle of the street and scream and yell, or what do you do? But certainly, this guy tried to call people and
reached somebody,
sharing the good news.
Finally, one of them picked up the phone and talked to him, and he was able to share.
Great.
Let's go through the next ones real quick. Green Valley Ranch in Vegas. One lucky boarding pass holder won $172,385 progressive jackpot on an $8.80 bet, playing dancing drums.
Oh, there you go, dancing drums.
The guest has asked to remain anonymous.
Okay.
Moving over to the East Coast, we have the Twin Spires Online Casino. We haven't done the Twin Spires jackpot.
Is Twin Spires is in New Jersey?
They just launched in Jersey.
Just launched in New Jersey.
They're third state.
All right, I can't. Okay, now, tell me what they won on. So now that they're in New Jersey, I can check them out in New Jersey and play the game that this person played on.
Lisa from Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Celebrating after winning $101,250 on Every's Double Ruby slot machine.
Never heard of it, but I'm going to look it up.
Double Ruby is what's called a classic stepper slot. Simple to play, enduringly popular. It's a classic 3-reel line video game from Every. You get the 1 or 2 double ruby bonus symbols, to get the extra.
So when you say
winnings.
Classic, you mean old-fashioned, right?
Yes, classic.
Old,
I don't want to call it vintage.
When you see the cartoons of Bugs Bunny, he's playing one of these machines.
When you
right?
walk into any casino, you see an old 3-reel slot machine with the arm.
Oh, the arm, yeah.
They still have the arms on them.
Oh, yeah, you can still use the arm. I never used the arm, but, you can still use the arm on a lot of them.
But it was the biggest jackpot awarded by Twin Spires since Eric M. scooped up $50,000 playing the Jinji Endless Treasure game.
Well, I'm going to check out Twin Spires. Some loose slots at Twin Spires.
Going over the Delaware, we've got several New Jersey jackpots to quickly hit.
All right.
And these happened within about a week of each other. We have $135,000, $105 jackpot at Caesars, playing Bally's Lock-It Link game. Then we have another $120,000 jackpot at Caesars playing IGT's Pinball.
All right.
I got to look at that one because I'm not familiar with the pinball game. $100,000 at Borgata playing IGT's Double Top Dollar slot. $113,437 at Harris playing Aristocrats Magic Pearl. $100,560 at Hard Rock playing IGT's Hotter Than Blazes. And $150,000 was won at Resorts playing IGT's Double Diamond.
The only one I've heard of is the Double Diamond, so I'm going to check out these other ones.
Well, I've heard the Lock-It Link, but not on the East Coast.
I've heard the Lock-It Link, but I heard it from you.
Yeah,
I think it was in one of your reports.
It was
Circa.
Circa had a Lock-It Link jackpot.
Okay. You actually remember where these jackpots were? Oh, yeah, Circa had the Lock-It Link.
Yeah, they had the piggyback link. Yeah.
Wait, it sticks with you, huh?
Hey, I write up the notes, so yeah.
Hey, all right.
Last but not least, we have a very odd occurrence in the North Carolina lottery.
I heard about this one.
A 49-year-old North Carolina man ended up winning 2 lucky draws in a single day, having accidentally purchased lottery tickets with the same numbers. The fortuitous fellow, and that's out of the report, one Scotty Thomas of Fayetteville, works as a dump truck operator, and turned out that his latest purchase of tickets, he bought 2 tickets, and they accidentally had the same exact numbers for the Lucky for Life drawing by the North Carolina Education Lottery, the North Carolina Lottery.
Okay.
The numbers came out.
Now, let me ask you something. If he bought one of those tickets, like he was intending to do, is there a different amount to it? The fact that he bought 2 tickets, is it the same amount that he would have won if he bought one?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just a question for you.
But actually, we have a very good...
I don't know if there was some weird kind of mathematical thing goes on when he wins 2 of the same ticket.
Speaking of mathematics, and this is where some figuring out had to come in for Mr. Thomas here. You know, the Lucky for Life, you're given a choice of either $25,000 a year for life,
okay,
or you take the lump sum. Now, in this case, the lump sum was $390,000 each.
Okay.
So he took in roughly about $700,000.
Great, good for him.
And a lot of people were wondering why he chose the lump sum versus the $25,000.
Well, they always tell you to take the lump sum because less taxes over the lifetime.
It's not even that.
No? Okay.
He would have to live until 2030 to actually come close to getting $500,000. So his choice, he got more money instead of using the $25,000 a year for life.
Hey, you know what? When you get a chance, take the lump sum. Number one, over the long haul, you're paying less taxes. And number 2, we just went through a pandemic. Who the hell knows what's going to happen next year, you know? Always take the lump sum.
Well, I don't even know if I'm going to live through the 2030s.
Who knows? Who knows? Take the lump sum.
And last but not least, the odds of him winning this, 1 in 1.81,026 to get that kind of jackpot.
So it's better than 1 in 1.8 million
basically
times.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Wow. Interesting.
Yeah. That's it for this week's Beatin the House. Keep those press releases coming in. Casinos, bingo parlors, online.
How do you say parlors?
I messed up the word. Parlors. I had my little Massachusetts burp in there.
Parlors. So. You're not even from Massachusetts.
I know, but spending time up there from law school and all that stuff, it wears on you.
Yeah.
But anyway, betting parlors.
You did it again. See?
I can't say the word.
Betting parlors.
I'm stopping that word from now on. Anyway.
By the way, are they even called betting parlors anymore?
I don't even call them that because I can't say the word. But anyway, keep them coming in. info@turnpikesportsradio.com, and we'll keep doing this segment.
Our NFL picks are coming up, so stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports.
Free stuff is awesome, but free stuff that will spice up your bedroom is even better. Just go to adamandeve.com and select almost any one item for 50% off, and then we'll load on the free stuff. Just enter this very exclusive code, BABE16 at checkout, and you'll get 10 tantalizing free gifts, including a sexy item for him, a special toy for her, and a third item you'll both enjoy. And 6 extra special bonus items that are sure to rev your engine, pique your curiosity, and even blow you away. Plus, free shipping! Always sent in discreet packaging. Go to adamandeve.com now. Get 50% off plus the 10 free gifts when you enter the exclusive offer code BABE16. That's BABE16, because without it, no free stuff. That's BABE16 at adamandeve.com.
This week's Turnpike Sports Pro Pick segment is brought to you by Fubo Sportsbook. Get in the game with Fubo Sportsbook. Integrated with Fubo TV, Fubo Sportsbook is designed to meet the U.S. sports fans' growing demand for interactivity. You can use their Watching Now feature to view wagering content based upon what you're streaming on Fubo TV, even as you change the channel. And now new customers get a risk-free bet up to $1,000 plus a free month of Fubo TV when you sign up at FuboSportsbook.com with promo code WATCH. WATCH. That's promo code WATCH when you sign up to get your first risk-free bet up to $1,000 at Fubo Sportsbook, plus a free month of Fubo TV. Sign up, then sync up to enjoy one of the most unique and personalized sports experiences in the market today. Watch, wager, and win with Fubo Sportsbook. Iowa only. Must be at least 21 years or old to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. New customers only. Problem gambler? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And welcome to Week 15 of this NFL season. I can't believe it's Week 15 already.
I know it's just blowing by here.
It's just been a really fast season, and also welcome to Fubo Sportsbook to the Turnpike Sports family.
Yes, we use their point spreads and their totals.
This week's sponsor.
Yes, absolutely. They're just in Iowa, right?
They're in Iowa right now. They
Iowa.
have other states planned launches coming. They hope to be in multiple states pretty soon.
Yeah,
including New Jersey.
Absolutely, I can't wait. We use their points and we use their numbers this week, so hopefully it brings me some luck.
And as we heard in the read, if you sign up at Fubo Sportsbook using our promo code WATCH, WATCH, you get a risk-free first bet up to $1,000, and you get a free month of Fubo TV,
which is awesome.
Yeah,
which is really good.
Very much enjoyed using Fubo TV recently, and it was a lifesaver. We weren't in New Jersey at the time, and I was able to watch my Jet game.
That's.
I didn't want to after the game. But,
it was a great idea before the game started. Then you watched to see how the Jets played. And
the Jets played. Ooh. Yeah, boy, did the Jets play.
Ooh.
Anyway, moving on to Week 15. By the way, the sports books seem to think this is going to be a very low-scoring week. There's only one game that has a total of over 50 points.
The totals were really awful. Really awful. I mean, they were just I didn't even go with a total this week.
And I did.
You did?
I did.
I didn't even go with it.
As a matter of fact, I went with the only game that has a 50-point total, which was the Thursday night game.
Oh, okay.
There's a little tease for my picks right there. But anyway, we are moving ahead with Week 15 here. Fubo Sportsbook odds. Please, if you're this is Iowa only. If you're in Iowa, sign up for it. It's a great sports book. But check your lines as you get closer to game time. Always check your lines when you get closer to game time because these will change. We're using Tuesday morning lines.
Yep.
We do 3 games each, spreads and totals only, no money lines. And last week, we both had a pretty good week.
Yeah.
We both ended up going 2-1.
Yeah. In the last 2 weeks, I've only had one loss. So I hope I didn't jinx myself.
Well, I had that in September.
I got to knock on
wood.
wood.
Seems to be my month. September seems to always be my month. But we both went 2-1. Season to date, 21-20 and 1 push for me. You are 20-19 and 3 pushes. There's only 2 pushes. 2 of your 3 pushes are separating us.
Okay, all right.
Which I had a huge lead going into November, and I screwed that up.
Those are like ties in the NFL. They really screw up the standings pushes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but we'll figure that out. All right, I went first last time, so you go ahead and start this time.
Okay, I'm getting this one over with, and I even wrote down, you can look at the blog, and my first sentence on this game is, I'm not sure why I even picked it, but here it goes. Houston Texans versus the Jacksonville Jaguars, which I never thought I'd say this, but the Jaguars are favored by 3 points, with a total of 40.5 points. These are 2 of the worst teams in the league, which means this is probably going to be a pretty close game. So I'm going with the Houston Texans because they're less of a mess than the Jaguars this season. And by the way, if you need some justification for the Texans are 5-2 against the spread in their last 7 games against the Jaguars. So I'm leaning toward the Texans in this one.
You know, that actually might be one of the more interesting games to watch.
And by the way, whenever the Jaguars are favored, my rule of thumb this season is go with the underdog. So the underdog is the Houston Texans.
Well, my first game, as I said, is the Thursday night game, the only game with a 50-point total. Kansas City Chiefs favored by 4 points against the Los Angeles Chargers, over-under of 51. The Chiefs are 7-1 against the spread in their last 8 games in Los Angeles. The road team in this series, which is Kansas City this time, is 15-5-1 against the spread in their last 21 meetings. All that being said, the Chargers have entered last week, week 14, as the only team to average 26 points scoring and also allowing 26 points in scoring per game, which is kind of a weird stat. Mm-hmm. The last 2 games for the Chargers totaled 58 and 63 points. The last 2 games between these 2 teams were 54 and 59 points. I think you're going to see that trend continuing here. I'm going with the over 51.
My next game is the Tennessee Titans, who are favored by 2.5 points versus the Pittsburgh Steelers with a total of 41.5 points. I like the way the Tennessee Titans have been playing lately. The Steelers, on the other hand, are really struggling to score points. Here are some of the stats that lead me to pick the Titans in this one. The Titans are 18-7 against the spread as favorites in their last 25 games. They are also 13-4 against the spread in their last 17 road games. On the other hand, get this one. I'm shocked at this one. The Steelers are 2-5 against the spread in their last 7 home games. They just haven't been doing it at home as well as they should have. So I think the Tennessee Titans come out with a win against the Steelers, and they also cover. So I'm taking the Tennessee Titans.
My next game, and I just realized I did the Thursday and the 2 Saturday night games. I want to get all my losing out of the way so I can enjoy
Sunday,
my Sunday.
You can just kick back and watch the Jets lose, huh?
Exactly. Okay. My first game, or my second game, first Saturday night game, is the Las Vegas Raiders at the Cleveland Browns. The Browns are favored by 6 points, and the over-under is 42. The Browns just barely escaped the Baltimore Ravens last week, and the Ravens had to play their backup quarterback because Lamar Jackson got carted off with an ankle injury.
That was one of the games I won. I went with the Ravens, and they covered at the very last minute of the game.
That was also one of my games too. Yeah. We both did the Baltimore plus 2.5. That half point came in.
I thought that was a loser when Jackson got carted off.
Well, the Cleveland Browns have been inconsistent all year. They've gone 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 games overall. They're 0-3 against the spread at home, and in the last 3 meetings between these teams, the Raiders are 3-0 against the spread. I don't know if the Raiders can win here, but the way Cleveland's been playing, and as I say this, I'm probably jinxing myself, I don't see them pulling away from the Raiders. I'm taking the Raiders in the plus 6.
My last game is the Denver Broncos, who are favored by 2 points versus the Cincinnati Bengals with a total of 43.5 points. Even though the Bengals lost last week against the 49ers, they really fought back and forced it to an overtime. Burrow looked pretty good against the 49ers. Yeah, I think he had 348 yards passing with 2 scores. The Bengals are 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 road games and are 4-2 against the spread in their last 7 games after a loss. So I think the Bengals will cover this one. and I think they may even come out with a win. So I'm taking the underdog Cincinnati Bengals.
All right, my last game of the week. The New England Patriots travel to Indianapolis to play the Colts. The Colts are favored right now by 2.5 points. I've actually seen some books have them at 2.
Yeah, this one may go up and down. By the way, Saturday is some bad weather in New England, so choose who you will. Actually, no, wait, they're in Indianapolis, right?
They're in Indianapolis.
Oh, well, they're lucky.
There's no such thing as bad weather in a dome.
Yeah.
The over-under is 45.5 here. Colts have won 7 of the last 10. Patriots have won 7 straight. Everyone's been watching what the Patriots have been doing lately, which is, I think, incredible and basically a rebuilt team.
Do you think Mac Jones will have to try more than 3 pass attempts?
I wish he would. But right now, the Patriots are 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 meetings with the Colts. Again, I told you they won 8 straight. They've been really playing very well against teams. But they've also been playing well against bad teams and also teams that have been missing key players. So they're not facing teams at their full strength. The Colts, I think, while they are getting there at full strength, if not at full strength for this game, they may be one of the most complete teams in the league. And they have the best running game, I think, with Jonathan Taylor back there. I think like I said, I think the Patriots' record in the last 8 games may not be exactly what people think it is. They're not really beating major teams here. They're beating hurt teams and lesser teams.
Well, Buffalo, again, they had the weather with them.
Yeah, exactly. They had another ally there. Yeah, they had a 12th man on the field with that weather. But I really think the Colts in this week here may end up ending the Patriots' winning streak. I'm going with the Colts minus 2.5.
You know, a lot of people are going with the Colts to the point where some sport outlets in the Boston area are saying it may be good for the Patriots to lose one on their way to the playoffs. So,
they're preparing everybody for a loss?
I think everyone's getting prepared in Boston and the New England area for a possible loss.
Well, I'm hoping for that too.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's recap. Go ahead.
All right, I'm going with the underdog Houston Texans against the Jacksonville Jaguars. The plus 3 points for Houston Texans. I'm taking the Tennessee Titans and laying the 2.5 points against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I'm taking the underdog Cincinnati Bengals, who are getting 2 points versus the Denver Broncos.
All right, my games. The over 51 points in the Kansas City Chargers game, Raiders plus 6, and the Colts laying the 2.5 against the Patriots. And I am very happy I'm not going to have to worry about any betting on Sunday. I'll be honest with you. I just didn't expect to do Thursday and Saturday night games.
Well, the book report's next, so stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports. With some of the best promotions and offers in the sports betting market, PointsBet simply stands out. PointsBet is the only U.S. online bookmaker to offer points betting, where every yard, every point, every goal, even every play matters. Same-game parlays, good karma payouts, early payouts, and exclusive game day promotions and guarantees for all sports. PointsBet offers more bet types than any other bookmaker in the world, offering a unique set of markets that aren't available anywhere else. Take advantage of their no-juice NFL game lines every week of the NFL season. That's right, PointsBet is giving higher payouts, and you get 100% of the profits. And now, sign up with PointsBet today using promo code BET21 and receive 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. Plus, you get a $10 free live bet on Sunday Night Football. Again, that's 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000 and the $10 free live bet for Sunday Night Football when you sign up at PointsBet.com with our code BET21. Stream live, bet live, win fast with PointsBet. Must be at least 21 years or older to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. New customers only. Problem gambler? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Turnpike Sports Book Report.
The
Turnpike Sports Book Report is brought to you by BorgataSports.com. Your favorite casino is now your favorite sportsbook. Available anywhere in New Jersey, BorgataSports.com. Sign up at BorgataSports.com using our promo code PIKE, that's P-I-K-E. Make your first wager of $20 or more and you'll get $100 in free bets. That's $100 in free bets when your first wager on Borgata Sports is $20 or more. Get into the action with BorgataSports.com. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And welcome to this week's Turnpike Sports Book Report, where we're going to be talking, as usual, about all the different state reports, the national reports. We've actually are going to be able to close the book on October with the reporting of Illinois.
Ah, yes. They're the state that always reports a little late, huh?
They are always about 60 to 90 days later than everybody else. Well. We've also got a bunch of launches, including a new state launch. We have some new legislation to talk about, especially with Ohio there passing their bill. And
they passed the bill, but right now at press time, we're still waiting.
It's expected.
We're still waiting for the governor to sign it, but it looks like it'll be signed.
Well, we'll talk about that when we get to it.
That's everyone's guess, right? At press time,
he's expected to sign. Okay. By the time this airs, he may have already signed it. We don't know.
Well, let's hope so.
Yes, and but like I said, a bunch of launches and a few deals, especially a first of its kind deal to talk about as well.
All right.
But let's start off, like I said at the top of this little segment here, that we have all the October numbers to talk about. We can finally close the book on that month because Illinois brought in their report for the month of October, and it was well worth the wait. Illinois set new state records for total handle, online handle, and revenue for the month of October.
Well, look, like we said, October is the month for records in the sports betting industry, and Illinois is just the latest to set state records, right?
Well, I am actually very impressed with Illinois. Illinois came in and
It's a big population.
It's
got Chicago involved in it, so it's a big population. So
honestly, before even saying what these numbers are, I think you got to really. Before we let me set the stage with this, because in May, this state's going to change dramatically because they are going to be dropping the in-person registration.
Great. Good.
So you're going to see a hell of a lot more money coming in with Illinois because there's going to be a lot more people signing up for it. It's going to be a lot easier. Nevada, please take notice of this. But Illinois is going to be changing its registration requirements pretty soon, so you may see Illinois creeping up on New Jersey. More than Nevada, Pennsylvania.
I would expect it. We're very much expect it. I mean, New Jersey is going to get some bad news when New York starts their mobile sports betting, and Illinois is coming up too. And you look, Pennsylvania has some pretty big numbers too. So. A lot of states with big populations are doing really good in sports betting, and that's great. And with Illinois changing its rules where it doesn't require in-person registration for their mobile sports books, I think that's going to make a difference.
I think you're going to see a lot more excitement about Illinois in the coming months.
Absolutely.
But Illinois, like I said, set records for total handle, $840.4 million. They haven't hit the $1 billion mark yet, but I think they will probably when that rule changes. Online handle, $803.4 million, revenue, $52.6 million, all in the month of October.
Great.
Top 5 for October, because now we can actually do the top 5. Thank you, Illinois, for coming in with your numbers. New Jersey led, $1.3 billion. That was number 1 in October. Nevada, $1.1 billion. We actually talked about them. They finally joined the $1 billion handle club with New Jersey.
Okay.
Illinois came in third with $840.4 million. Pennsylvania, $776 million. And Michigan rounded out the top 5. Just under $500 million, $497 million.
Great. Now we got the final October numbers. And they were really great.
I'm really curious to see what happens with Michigan because I really thought Michigan would be moving a lot quicker.
Well, Michigan's up there. I think you'll see a lot more from Michigan. I think they'll blow everyone away when we get to the March Madness kind of thing, When I think of Michigan, I think of them as, college sports and college athletics, and I think that's where they're really going to shine during March Madness. Although I could be wrong, but I think March Madness is going to be great for Michigan.
Well, staying with the October numbers, excluding Arizona, and that's because Arizona has not reported their numbers yet.
Oh, okay. Be like that, Arizona.
Yes. They have yet to report their October numbers. The entire nation's sports betting handle, the U.S. national sports betting handle for October, is $7 billion.
Wow.
A 36% increase from September, which was $5.2 billion.
Okay.
The national revenue in October so far is $504.5 million, up from $334.1 million reported in September. So even we are, as a nation, moving so fast, so far, in just terms of 1 year.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. Everyone loves sports betting. And look, the professional sport leagues, the collegiate sports are really, I don't want to use the word embracing it, but really working with the sports betting industry to really, really help fan engagement and things like that. I'm using marketing words. Fan engagement. They love that word. But it really is. It's really helping out I think it's helping out the numbers for the sports betting industry, and also it's helping out the numbers for the sports industry.
It's one of those things where a lot of people talk about where the next expansion is going to go. And honestly, I think everyone's talking about sports betting with the media expanding that way. You got to look at the iGaming coming up soon, too, because the iGaming is just going to increase all numbers.
Esports. Everyone talks about esports. Esports. They want to start betting with esports. So, hey, a lot of states are getting legislation ready for betting with esports. So I think that's the next frontier of sports betting, if you're asking me.
Well, let's stay with October here. Year to date. After these October numbers, we're going to go year to date with this.
So wait, October nationally, just for October 2021, was that a national record?
That is a national record.
The $7 billion is a national record. Okay.
Every month now is almost going to be a national record.
It's pretty much a national record, right?
But year to date total U.S. sports betting handle stands at $42.19 billion.
Wow.
That is almost double what was wagered through October 2020. Now, in 2020, there were only 17 markets live. There are 34 right now.
I didn't realize there were 34. That's great.
Yeah.
I knew there was over 30. It was around 30, 31, but there's 34, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see. A couple other, before we get into Maryland's launch there, I just ruined the tease that I put up there. Sorry about that. Let's talk a couple of other numbers here. We had, going into November, they're starting to report the November numbers. That's how late Illinois is with some of their numbers. We had Oregon coming in with their numbers. See, this is
where it always gets confusing. You talk about Illinois, and they're always like a month and a half behind. Now we're going to talk about what? November numbers, right?
November numbers with Oregon. Their handle was down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that October boost, well, I think
October is the month for sports betting, I'll tell you that.
I think with some states it's going to go up in November possibly, but a lot of states it's going to either plateau or go down. I don't know about Jersey. Jersey may not reach what they just reached in October, that $1.3 billion. Most states are going to have a little decline, I think, most of them. But Oregon came in with the lower handle. The only reason I bring up Oregon is because it has your favorite sport.
Oh, we're talking table tennis now?
I always bring up table tennis because it's a very interesting industry to me.
Oregon,
this table tennis
and
betting
Colorado.
industry.
Oregon and Colorado. They're the hub of table tennis, I guess, in this country, right?
Well, Oregon set a record gross revenue this month, but I am just impressed with the way table tennis performed.
Okay.
It was in the top 5.
Wow, top 5.
It was number 5, but it made the top 5 in Oregon. Brought in a.
So wait, do you have the list of sports, the most popular bet on sports?
Top handles.
Okay, they're top handles.
Basketball brought in $13.5 million in handle.
All right.
Football $11.1 million. Then you have soccer, $2.6 million, hockey, $1.9 million, and then we have little old table tennis, $1.2 million in handle.
Almost as much as hockey.
785 unique players. I love the way Oregon breaks down their numbers. You get a big old table in the press release. You take a look at it. It's got the handle. It's got the revenue. It's got the hold percentage. It's got the number of unique players. It's got the average bet size. And if you take a look at what they have here, it's always interesting to me with table tennis because I'm just amazed. The average bet size in November for table tennis was $66.67.
All right.
I don't even bet that much on the other sports sometimes. I've never thought of betting $60.
You know,
I've never thought of betting $20.
I never think of table tennis until you bring it up. But I wonder if there's a big month for table tennis. I wonder if there's like a national championship, if there's some kind of big tournament in table tennis that everyone bets on. I just don't know too much about table tennis. Like I said, I'm shocked it's in the top 5. But again, if you like betting on it, good. And if you're doing great at it, good. If you're making money, hey.
One other note from the numbers in Oregon. I've been noticing that the Oregonians, the Oregon residents, whatever you want to call them.
Oregonians?
Whatever they are. The people that live in Oregon and live and bet in Oregon, they seem to like in-play betting versus pre-match a lot more.
I gotta tell you,
I'm talking about in terms of average bet size.
I like well, you know what you're doing in play. A lot of times when you're doing in play, you're realizing, oh my God, I'm losing my original bet on this game. Take for instance, what is it? Last Thursday's Steelers. What was it? Steelers Vikings game. A lot of people bet on the Steelers, like myself, and it was going horribly wrong for the Steelers in the first half. At one point, the in-play odds were Steelers plus 22. And if people jumped on that during the game, guess what? They won. They won back. Hopefully they won back their money. But if they bet on the Steelers at the plus 3 number. But no, hey, in-play betting, yeah, that could pull you out of the fire a couple times, you know?
Well, listen to this breakdown of live bets versus pre-match bets in Oregon. There were 686,000 pre-match bets versus 315,000 live bets. Less live betting than they are pre-match, but the average bet sizes, pre-match was $24.55. The live bet average size was $50.
Well, hey, you know what?
I wonder if it's what you just said, the pre-match, and then you're trying to catch up on the live
all of a sudden
thing.
you see the Steelers, using that game as an example again, you see the Steelers that, I don't even know, it might have been the second quarter or during halftime. The Steelers were at one time plus 22 during the game. And I know a lot of people jumped on that. And a lot of people made a lot of money. Hopefully they made their money back, especially if they were betting the Steelers like I was at plus 3 pregame. So, yeah, it could, like I said, it could save your skin a lot of times.
Also in November, Montana reported their numbers. First time the state of Montana has cleared $1 million in revenue.
Wow. Hey,
since the industry launched in March of 2020.
Was this Montana?
This is Montana. Got one last October number to hit you with, though.
Oh, you're still with October, huh?
Yeah,
was Montana November?
Montana was November.
And it
was $1 million in monthly sports betting revenue, not the handle. The handle was pretty good. It was like $5.5 million or something.
So you got one more October number. And then are we officially done with October now?
No, because you still have Arizona at some point.
Oh, Arizona, that's right.
State of Wyoming, their second month in operation was October. They saw their state handle increase by 73%.
Great.
From September. They went from September was $6.25 million to almost $11 million in October.
Great.
And that's another one of the online-only states. They don't have any retail books. Might as well just talk about Maryland right now. Maryland has become the 31st U.S. jurisdiction to offer legal sports betting.
Now, when is the date where people can actually place a bet in Maryland?
They did.
They did.
Yeah, last week. Thursday was the opening of the MGM, the Bet MGM Sportsbook and Lounge in MGM National Harbor.
Okay, so did anyone special make the first bet? That's always a big thing.
Governor Larry Hogan.
Okay, great.
And NFL quarterback Joe Theismann.
Wow, that's great.
They actually had a good showing right there for that. That was on Thursday. Then on Friday, you had Maryland Live Casino open up their FanDuel Sportsbook.
Okay.
Again, Governor Hogan.
Okay.
And
well, he's been really great during this whole thing. He's been really pushing this along, and good for him. He should have the first bet.
And NFL Hall of Famer Ed Reed.
Oh, okay, great.
We had a Washington football team representative in one.
Yep.
And then a Baltimore Raven.
Now, how about online now?
Online's not going to happen for a while.
Okay, that's what I was wondering about. Everyone's pushing for online, but at least they started retail.
Well, online is kind of interesting. They've given out the licenses, but they still got to do a lot more testing, a lot more regulations. It's the same deal with Louisiana with their online sports betting system. They're talking. Louisiana is talking late January, mid to late January, possibly at Super Bowl time, February.
Okay. Look,
same thing with Maryland.
This should be relatively quick. I mean, they're not reinventing the wheel. There are other states that have online. They have other states that have regulations they can look at that they can adapt to their own state. And, they have people that can train other people how to do this. So, this shouldn't be taking too long. I mean, I don't know what the hell's going on with New York. They're just a big mess right now, but it looks like they're getting closer and closer to it. So
New York has already named the operators, and the operators are starting to line up people to work with them as well. So
is everyone's kind of date I guess it would either be the Super Bowl or March Madness. Is that what everyone's talking about?
I think everyone wants to hit Super Bowl because you get the double whammy with Super Bowl and March Madness for online.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I think a lot of people want to hit both of those. Those are really two big events to start your sports betting industry off on.
If you don't hit it for them, you might as well then just take your time and do it because you missed the big bounties for those things.
Well. And since you just mentioned that, waiting, we have Ohio. Ohio just passed their sports betting bill.
The House and Senate, passed the bill.
And as we said at the top,
at press time, we're sitting here waiting for the governor to sign it.
He has 10 days from the day that
he may have signed it by the time this airs. So
he may do it.
He might do it in an hour. He may be in the process of signing it. We don't know. Who knows?
I wonder if it's one of those situations where he doesn't have to do anything. If he waits the 10 days out and he doesn't sign it, he doesn't veto it, doesn't pass. I would rather see him sign it.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, he said he's going to sign it. So, as we're taping this, he has not signed it as of this time.
He could be signing
mid-afternoon
it right now.
On a Friday afternoon. He could be sitting as this. You're right. He could be sitting as this, signing it right now. So. But it's got the bill that came out of this. It may just create one of the biggest markets. You're talking 42 licenses for Class B type organizations, Ohio sports teams, casinos, racinos for retail sports betting. You have 25 online sports betting license minimum because of the 25, you get 2 skins, so you may see 50.
Wow. Jeez.
Then you have the Class Cs, which are the bars, the restaurants, the bowling alleys. It was the very first state I have ever heard of where bowling alleys were lobbying to get sports betting.
Were they specifically mentioned in the legislation?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Good job on lobbying, too.
See, that's a great place for a sports betting activity, the bowling alley.
Oh, yeah.
It's such a great place. You got a bar, you got food, you got bowling, and boom, you got sports betting.
And I think some of the
now when we say sports betting, we're talking about kiosks, right?
Kiosks, yes.
Kiosks.
But you mentioned the bowling alleys. There's this one chain in the country, Bolero, that did a
what
deal.
A great name.
Yeah, that did a deal to have sports betting data broadcast on their screens in the lanes. So if there are any Boleros in Ohio, they're ready to go. All they need to do is get the kiosks.
I wish New Jersey would do something like that.
Well, there are Boleros in New Jersey.
Okay, well, I wish the bars and restaurants were allowed to have terminals.
Buffalo Wild Wings with the BetMGM channel.
Well, you have the channel, but you can't place your bets there. They don't have any kiosks there.
But you can use your online app for that.
I know, but it's the thought that you're talking about. Seriously, any place in New Jersey is a sports book. You can go into the bathroom and it's a sports book because you have your phone and your tablet and whatever you have. But
wow, that's not a great image to put out there.
The whole concept of if a restaurant wanted to do something like that, they could do that.
Well,
that's a nice thought.
But again, Ohio's not going to be launching soon. It's going to be, they're saying anywhere mid-2022 to 2023 for a launch of that industry.
See, that's just crazy.
Well, when you're dealing with that many licenses, I think you got to
get it. Yeah, I know. I get it. But, you can get the ball rolling, at least allow some of the casinos to allow sports betting or just put kiosks to start off and then gradually have your temporary sports book in a casino, then have it built in a casino, and then have your online,
Couple quick launches to talk about before we get out of here. Twin Spires launched their sports book in New Jersey.
I got to check it out. Yeah,
that's
can't
the
wait.
8th state for Twin Spire.
Okay.
FanDuel and Boyd announced, FanDuel, Boyd, and Delta Downs launched their FanDuel sportsbook at Delta Downs last week. That's in Louisiana. As a matter of fact, their ribbon-cutting ceremony was hosted by Pro Football Hall of Famer Randy White.
All right.
And one deal to really hit this week, we have our very first Big Ten school signing a sports betting deal.
Okay, who is that?
It is the University of Maryland Athletics signing a deal with PointsBet.
Wow, what a big week for Maryland.
Well, it's a big week for Big Ten because, like I said, it's the first Big Ten school to sign with Sportsbook. After all that kicking and screaming with the NCAA, they're now starting to do all these deals. You've got the PointsBet. It's a multi-year deal with PointsBet. PointsBet signs will appear in and around Xfinity Center and Capital One Field at Maryland Stadium. They're also going to have a bunch of programming, sponsored by PointsBet, signage everywhere, commercial spots. So this now marks the fourth school to do a deal with a sports book. You have University of Maryland here with PointsBet. Then you have LSU with Caesars. University of Colorado partnered with PointsBet. And University of Denver with Superbook.
Yep.
So we have 4 NCAA entities partnering with sportsbooks already. And, last but not least, Sport Radar did a 5-year extension with their sports betting deal with Kambi. Sport Radar will remain Kambi's exclusive supplier of NBA, National Hockey League, Major League Baseball, and college sports data in the United States market. That's it for this week's book report. There is more and more news to report that we didn't have time for. It's in the print version of the book report that will appear on the blog, turnpikesportsradio.com. Click on the blog button. You'll see the book report in print form there. Any news reports, press releases, info at turnpikesportsradio.com, and we'll be sure to include them in a future book report.
And that'll do it for us this week. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.